What's up guys, this is Josh back with another video, and welcome to the KeepItTechie channel, where I deep dive into the world of Linux and technology to make your tech journey a little bit easier. And today we're going to tackle an essential tool in the Linux universe that's a game changer for searching and analyzing text, and that is the grep command. So whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your tech adventure, understanding grep is like having a tech superpower, especially in the Linux world. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get techie. Alright, so let's start with a bit of groundwork. Now, grep, which stands for Global Regular Expression Print, is a command line utility that's indispensable in the Linux ecosystem. And let me go down and pull up the man page for it right fast. And this is something that I recommend everyone do when you're trying to look at a command for the first time and trying to get a better understanding of how to use it. You want to go to the man page, which is essentially the manual for that command line utility. And so let's just type grep, and so that's the command to bring up the manual. So man, and then the command that you want to look at. So man grep, let's press enter. That'll open it up for you. And imagine you're looking for a needle in a digital haystack. Well, grep is kind of like that magnet. It allows you to search through any amount of text data quickly, looking for specific patterns, words, and even complex expressions within a file. And you'll see while looking through this man page, there are a lot of options. And it's kind of like having a search engine for your text data. And that's from small configuration files to massive log files. And so it's definitely important if you're looking at getting into systems administration work. Grep is something that you'll be using heavy while managing a lot of these Linux servers. So whether you're troubleshooting, analyzing logs, or just curious, grep is like that go-to tool that everyone needs to understand. So let's dive into how it works and why it's such a powerhouse in text processing. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. And let's say you want to find all occurrences of the word bash within your etc password file. Well, it's super simple. Let's type grep, and then we're looking for our string, which is bash. That's just the text that we're searching for. And let's say we want to look for it in our etc password file. And this is where account information is stored. So let's go ahead and press enter, and this will grep out anything that says bash on it. So as you can see, the root accounts and the password file is essentially account information that's stored on the system. And like for instance, the name of the account, the ID, the user ID, the home directory, and then of course bin bash. And so it pulls each one of those lines, and it also highlights the text. As you can see, it's in red. So that's super cool. That's the basic way of using the grep command. Now, the obvious next step is to show you guys the inverse of this search that we just did. So let's say grep bash, we want to look for the bash, that's our string. Let's say we want to look at all the lines that don't have bash in it. Well, there's an option. That's why I want to introduce you guys to that. But if you type grep and then -v, this is for the inverse. And then also bash again, we want to see all the lines that don't include bash. And we want to look in that same file, and so let's type that out and press enter. And as you can see, it's a whole bunch of information there because it's all the lines that don't have bash in it. And a lot of these are services accounts for applications on the system and all that good stuff. And if you scroll up here, you'll see a whole bunch of accounts, and that's all tied to the system itself or software that's installed on the system. Now let's look for a different term just to make this a little bit cleaner. Let's say we want to look for the no logins, the opposite or invert of no login as our string. So I'm gonna just press the up arrow, that way we can bring the same command up, and let's take off the bash and put no login. So we want to look for the inverse of that. So let's press enter. As you can see, it's a little bit shorter list and these are all the accounts that have access to log into the system, and that's because they don't have the no login option next to the account. Now let's go down and clear right fast so I can show you guys something a little bit different, and that is filtering. So it's a way to filter. You basically use the pipe and then you can grep the results of a particular command. So I'm gonna run one command right fast so you guys can see, but the PS command -ef, let's run that right fast. As you can see, this pulls up all the services that are running and the service IDs, the user that's actually using that service or that service is actually running, the application, and all that good stuff. And let me go back up here. Yeah, user ID, process ID, the PPID, you know, all the information in the commands over there. So let's say we want to filter out and only look for a specific user ID. And let's say, let me find one that's doesn't have many so we can lower these results. And let's roll with this LP right here. It only has 2, so let's go down and run that. But let's press the up arrow. Now what I meant by pipe, and actually let me clear right fast so you guys can see a little bit better. But let's go down and type PS-EF, and then the pipe is the bar that goes up and down. That's essentially the pipe. So basically run this command after the first command. That's essentially what it's doing. It's piping the results of this command into the next command, which is going to be our grep, and this is considered filtering. So we can type grep, and let's say we want to look for that LP user ID. So let's go and press enter. Boom. As you can see, it pulls in those 2 user IDs that have LP in it. Now one thing, it did pull in some other lines that were associated with a different user ID, and that's only because LP was in it. And basically this is when we ran the grep command, as you can see by Josh. That's a process that was running at the exact same time we pulled the information because I ran the command. And we can at least filter this one out. There's another option I can show you right fast, but we can filter this one out through by using the -W option. This will filter out and only look for this specific word. Actually, it'll filter this out up here, the Savannah, because it's included in a specific word. It has to be its own separate word, if you get what I'm saying, like a full word and not included in other texts. So this will actually still show up, but this will get rid of this Aveja. And let's go down and press enter. Boom. As you can see, this one is gone, but we still see that we ran the command down here. Obviously that's going to be there because we're running the command. All right, so the next thing I want to show you guys is a recursive search through directories. So let me show you guys this right fast. Let me clear, and let's say you need to search through a whole directory for a string that you specify. And so there's the OR option that we could use, and I'll go down and type it out so you guys can see. And I'll use a specific directory. I'll use the etc directory. That's the directory that holds a lot of our configuration files for the operating system. So all the applications, let's say you have a web server running on this thing, you're gonna see a lot of the configuration files posted there. And so let's type -R for recursive. That's essentially the option that we want to put there. And then also we want to look for a specific string, and we have to put the string in double quotes. So I'm gonna just use the example because I know it's there. So example com, and then let's specify the directory that we want to search in, and this will search all the files throughout that location. It even searches the subdirectories using that search string, which is example.com. I know it's gonna find a lot. And then also one thing about it, we don't have permissions. What you want to do is use sudo with this command when running against this directory, because we don't own it. It's owned by root. But there are some files that we can search through in here. That's why I just want to go down and run it. And the reason I want to leave it this way, so you guys will see the error when it doesn't have access to a particular file. So let's go down and press enter. It'll go through. It says permissions denied based on all the files it can't access, but other files that it can access, it'll find it and it'll put the location. So this is etc dispatcher module, and then the mary.generic.config, and in there is an example.com. So it'll basically go through and find all the spots where example.com is within all the different files within the directories that are in the etc directory. And it's all recursive, meaning that it'll look in subdirectories and all that. And like I said, I wanted to show you guys the permissions denied. It probably doesn't have anything in there, but it still shows the files that it could not check, so you at least know what it couldn't look through. using that command. And so if we run it, let me run it again, but I'll use sudo so you guys can see this. So sudo grep, it's gonna ask for our sudo password, press enter, and it'll only pull up the files that it'll pull up all the files, and it checks all of these files, even the ones that are permissions denied. It'll see that it doesn't have it in there, and it'll exclude it from the list. So that's super dope, right? Because let's say you don't know where the files that are associated with a specific string, you know they're in that directory, but you don't know what subdirectory, you don't know the specific location to search. This is a great way of actually finding it using this recursive search. Now, just looking at this, it can be a bit confusing, you know, trying to find, okay, this is the specific file and this is the location. It kind of confuses everything by bringing in all where it's located within the file. So let's say you only want to pull up the files where a search term is located, and what you want to use is the L option. And so let's go down and clear right fast so I can free up some space so you guys can see a little better. But let's type grep, and then let's use the -L option. And then let's say we want to look for an error in some log files, but we only want to see the log files or the actual files where error is located, which is our search term. So let's type error and then put our quotes in there, close quotes, and then let's look under the var directory, which is the location where all our log files are, and then log, and then let's specify a file extension but not a file name. That way we can check all the files in there that has log in it, but it doesn't matter what the name of the actual file is. So it'll check all those files. So this is essentially a wildcard. That's what that star is. And then .log. So as long as it's a log file, doesn't matter what name it is, search for error. And let's go down and press enter. And as you can see, there are some permissions denied on certain files, but as you can see, we got errors in bootstrap log and the depackage log. So this is a great way of narrowing down a search term in a specific file, and it only shows you those files that have that specific search term. And I'm using error because we're looking at log files, and I knew it wouldn't bring up many files, you know what I'm saying? But this gives you an idea of how to narrow that search down. All right, so by default, grep cares about uppercase and lowercase. So it all depends on how you type the search term, but sometimes you don't care about the case. So you want to pull in all results, and it doesn't matter the case of the actual word that you find, as long as it matches the letters, period. Where there's the I option, which makes you search case insensitive. And this will help you catch all the variations of your search term. And so we're gonna look up this error again. So let's go on and type that in, but we want to look in a specific file just to make it simple. So let's go syslog, and we want to look for that error search term or string, and let's put that I. Well, actually, let's not use the I first. That way you guys can see an example of what I'm talking about. So this is a normal search like we've done already on the system, but it's looking for error, and it's gonna look for this specific case. That's the way grep works by default. So let's go down and press enter, and as you can see, it pulls in just that case. So if you look through here, all the lines that it pulls, or it at least highlights the case that we specified. So let's say you want to look at it, because like if you look at this line right here, April 11th, I'm gonna highlight it. This error was highlighted, but it has error in it as well, but it's a different case. That's why it's not highlighted as well. So let me go and show you guys how to run it where it doesn't matter the case, it'll pull it in regardless using that I option. So let's go back up here to the front, let's type -I, press enter, and boom, you'll see it'll pull the cases regardless. And you can see right here, this just has the capital E, but it's still error. You know what I'm saying? It has the capital E, so it pulled that word. It pulled the full caps or all caps on error right here. It pulled the lowercase caps of error. It even pulled this line where, and it highlighted both of them. They were right next to each other, lowercase and uppercase, or at least the uppercase E. So yeah, like I said, if you want to pull all instances of the word or a particular word, no matter the case, then you want to use that I option. All right, so it's one other option I want to show you guys, and that is the -N. Now I'm gonna go back to the beginning, just basically finding text in a file, which was that first way of running the grep command with no options and all that good stuff. So let's type grep and then bash, which is our search term, and we want to look in our password file. So under E and then that password file, press enter, and it'll pull up those files. Let's say you want to number those. So all you have to do is go back up here behind grep and let's type in our option that we want to do. So let's dash in, which is basically going to number those lines, and that way it'll make it simple for you to find the text within the file. So as you can see, this is on line 1, which is the first account that's created. You know, that's why it's number 1 in the file, and then line 45. So that's just an example of using the numbering. That way you could quickly find whatever line this information is on. And I really want to show you guys that because that makes it super simple to find information that you're looking for. If you want to open this file, you'll know exactly where to go within that file to find the line that you're looking for. And there you have it, a deep dive into the grep command, a tool that proves simplicity and power can indeed go hand in hand. Now remember, grep is more than just a command. It's your pathway to mastering text search and manipulation in Linux. I hope this tutorial sheds some light on how you can leverage grep in your daily tech tasks. And don't forget, practice makes perfect. For instance, I don't remember all these commands. I have to look them up in order to use the right options, or use that man page in order to pull up the option that I'm looking for in order to run the command. So just get in there, play around with it, open up your terminal and start grepping away. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your tech friends, and subscribe to the KeepItTechie channel for more Linux tips and tricks. Also, if you have any questions or insight, drop them in the comments below. I love to hear from you. Until next time, keep it techie.